So we just popped into D.L Lemon's today over at Wilton in Wiltshire. Look at his Kverneland plough. A few things to notice. It's on the knock-on point system, and he runs a mixture of standard and tungsten parts. So what you'll find here is you've got the tungsten skim points down here. And this has been on, he's saying they've run the tungsten skimmers for 4 seasons now. And although we don't know the exact acreage, that would be in excess of 1,200 acres. And he runs some pretty tough ground as well. So these have held up really well. Thing to notice, you've got the tungsten going all the way across the bottom as standard. But one thing that you will notice is that this tungsten comes right the way up to the very top. You'll find a lot of tungsten skim points, the tungsten comes about halfway, maybe 2/3, but we've put tungsten right the way to the very top, just gives you that extra longevity. You can see that it wears more down at the bottom, but it does need that extra protection at the top as well. It just helps hold that up so it doesn't start eating in up above. The other tungsten part used is the shin. So what you can see once again is that the tungsten runs right the way up that full leading edge. Again, what you'll often find is tungsten running up to about 2/3 of the way up and then not all the way to the top, but we found it very beneficial to have that right the way up to the top edge. On the land side, what we've got is 1, 2, 3, 4 of the shorter land sides, and then we've got the longer rear land side. We'll come to that in a moment. On this front land side, on the top, he's using one of our tungsten land sides, and on the bottom comparable front furrow is we've got a standard one. So far we are 3 to 1 and it's still going, so it's going quite strongly. Where we are so far in that trial, he feels that this is going to, for them, this is going to be more beneficial in that they will be going forward with tungsten land sides on the shorter and on the rear. So both the rear land sides are tungsten. This sort of T design of tungsten is well used, and what we try and do is make this upper T that little bit longer, so there's smaller gaps in between these T's, so you get less of this exaggerated wear. So you can see as the soil comes off this top T, it then starts wearing down. You can see it here, it starts wearing down. Quite interesting that what we've done is we originally put this tungsten on what we would say the front edge, so it'd be going on here. What D.L Lemons have done is they've reversed that, and it says in the catalogue you can do this, is that this is actually running the left on the right and the right on the left, so you get this additional tungsten which we've put on. That is actually more beneficial to them, they feel, on the rear. They're getting more on wear here than they are here. And you can see why they feel that it's more beneficial on the rear. This is obviously a non-tungsten land side, but just as an example, what they find is that this fills up behind this sort of like point and holder system, is that this fills up with soil which protects that front end, whereas the rear is exposed to wear. So hence, that's why they put the tungsten from the start on the rear. And then what Glyn has said, who's the main operator of the plough, is that once this is really sort of like seen out towards the end of its days, they will then turn this around and the right will become the left will become the right, and then this wear will be eating into it this side, and this will go at the front, and this is held up nicely, this will still be at the back. So that's how they operate that system, and it works very well for them.